Hi guys, long time no see. Okay, I'm sorry for being gone so long. I went on a little trip and I didn't make any merge tactics content because, well, yeah, the game is pretty boring. But as you can see, I've fallen since the last time we've spoke. And also, all of you guys still aren't subscribed since the last time we spoke. But ready, watch this. And boom, I'm no longer washed. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys some games that I recorded during my climb up to 4200. These include some of my favorite games and some where I could learn from a bunch. So sit back, relax, subscribe before you do that though, and enjoy the games. So in this first game, we're going to get party time. Team size is always 6. You guys know how much I love this modifier and how much fun I have playing it. I end up getting a pretty bad start, but so does my opponent. We both end up getting 3 units. The next round, I ended up getting a little bit of a roll down, but I actually end up not really converting it. I only have 5 out of 6 units, and my opponent has 6 out of 6 plus throwers. And though I do have a 2-star knight, I end up losing this one. Taking 2 losses in the beginning, in my opinion, isn't too bad, because you're only losing, you know, about 5 to 6 HP, or 4 to 5 HP if you're doing a good job. And if you can minimize your first 2 losses to like losing 4 HP, you still have a lot of resources to work with in terms of health. So I'm basically set on going with Rangers, but I don't end up getting it this round. I still had a little more elixir to spend. I think what I should have done is rolled down for that Dark Goblin so I could get it on this round. But I do end up winning. As we go into round 4 here, you can see that everybody is still in the game, and everyone still has maybe 1 more loss under their belt. So I'm talking to myself right now saying that, you know, this win really isn't guaranteed because everyone still has a lot of health. This roll down was pretty sad as well because I couldn't upgrade my front line as much as I want. As you can see, I only have 1 star in the front line, or 1 stars on the front line. And yeah, I did a pretty bad job about observing the opponent's boards to see which tank units were uncontested. But Rangers does win a good amount against middle game clan, so we end up taking this one. And now we have 3 players that are pretty equal in health, meaning that this game is going to be pretty close. Luckily during this roll down, I end up hitting a Princess 3, and I do end up getting the Ace trait activated, so this Princess is going to be doing a lot of damage. I also end up hitting a Mega Knight 3 as well, which in my opinion, the Mega Knight 3 is now one of the best 3-star cards, because it causes so much havoc among the opponent's board, especially with the range of its jump now. Thankfully here, because of the Ranger's speed up, I end up winning against that. And we get a little bit of a rest here because we go up against the person who has died already. And in this situation, I'm debating whether or not I should sell my P.E.K.K.A to merge or sell a unit to merge. But I realize, hey, I have an extra round. I might as well just, you know, keep my board and use next round as the best opportunity to roll down for a 3-star tank unit. So we end up getting into the points here because this player defeats the other player, and here I actually don't have, you know, too many good resources. I have not many units on my bench. I don't really have resources for a roll down. I don't have any elixir. I'm basically just gonna have to see how this round plays out and see who has the stronger board right now. Again, me and him are both at 5 HP, so we both could probably take 1 loss. But this next round will determine like who will need to improve their board and who could just sit and block the other opponent. There's still somehow rangers in the shop, so I end up improving that. I actually end up strengthening my board a lot. As you can see here, I'm starting to gather skeleton kings because it's also, again, an uncontested frontline unit. But this next round, I'm actually not confident that I'm going to win it, even though I decided to 3-star my units. I think the key event in this round is that the Goblin Machine and the Bandit died pretty quickly. And this allowed my Dark Goblin to shred and my Mega Knight to get into the back line. So here I'm simply searching for basically Golden Knights and Skeleton Kings. And I end up hitting a Skeleton King here, which is pretty big. I decided to replace the P.E.K.K.A. And I roll down a little bit more to try and get this Golden Knight, but I think he's blocking it, and I run into Shop Glitch. So those will be my last rolls of this game. My Prince ends up pushing the Archer Queen back here, which is pretty huge. That means that this Archer Queen won't be in range of some of my Rangers. Yeah, and we end up stomping this round completely. Overall, it was a pretty intense game. I got pretty lucky in terms of my board being stronger than others. But hey, you take wins when you can get them. You guys in the next game. Okay, so as we get into the second game here, we're going to get richer and richer, which is an interest-based modifier. In this case, I think I'm going to sit at 4 elixir, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to sit at 4 elixir and just take the first loss. In richer and richer, I really value the second round roll down because you'll have a lot of elixir to work with. So yeah, I take the loss here. And I end up rolling down just a little bit here. And I actually end up completely throwing my second round roll down. I only end up with 3 1-star units. Thankfully, I'm playing against a weak board again. And because of my clan trait active, I end up winning this round. As we work through the round 3 roll down, I end up getting a Prince 2 with Rangers in the back. Again, I don't know why Rangers is so uncontested some of these days. It's one of the best builds ever. As you can see right here, there were 4 frontline units walking up to my Rangers, and within about 7 seconds, 3 of them are gone. Super underrated build. I don't know why people don't go Rangers more often. To be fair, they will be in 50% of your games, but here I decided to go with a Giant Skelly, just to give Brawler trait to my Prince, but also for the Giant Skelly Bomb in the center of the board. And my opponent has a board with a bunch of half synergies, so I'm going to go ahead and win this one. Here in round 5, it looks like I'm looking for a Prince 3, but I'm just not able to hit it. Again, I'm just trying to fill out my frontline units as well as hit another Dark Goblin. And I end up with just a bunch of random units, which again isn't bad because next round when you get that 4 elixir, it could be the start of another roll down, right? So don't be worried if you have a bunch of units. My Prince decides to charge into nothing to start this round, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. But I am going up against someone who's contesting my rangers, and they're contesting it pretty good. Thankfully though, I end up winning this by 1 unit, and I end up eliminating this guy. So now all of his ranger units will go back into the pool, meaning that right now I need to roll. And again, as I was saying, those units on your bench could end up being a really good roll the next round, which is what happens here. Here I decided to put on Noble because I feel like Noble was better than what units I had on at the time, as well as buffing my Prince 3 already. As you guys can see, I'm putting my Prince in the second to last row, so it gets a damage buff from Noble instead of the health buff. The front 2 rows of units will gain HP, while the back 2 rows will grant you damage, which is why I want to put my Prince there. And I actually end up losing to this guy who also is going rangers for some reason. He actually doesn't have good rangers also. And he also didn't have rangers before, so I'm wondering why he picked up rangers. But I end up going Golden Knight 3 here. And I make the business decision to sell my Prince and just go Assassin. The reason I wanted to go Assassin is because it's the weakness to rangers, and I decided to do this kind of little mini pivot. If you guys know what pivoting is, it's one of the most important mechanics in the game, and you will find it in higher diamond. And I did a really small pivot here with my front line to get Assassin, but in the next game you guys see, I'll show where I sell my entire board and pivot to a completely new build. But yeah, that little pivot there allowed me to win this game. And as I was talking about, I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, so this game is probably one of the best pivots of my merge career, my very short merge career. But we start out with Clear Mind as the modifier, and we end up with a really strong board to start the game in Archer and a P.E.K.K.A. A 2-star Archer, by the way. And yeah, guys, this thing called pivoting is basically when you see you're contested or you want to change your board completely, and you basically take the quality of your board and you sell it to make the same quality board or better, just with different traits and different units. It's basically just a hard switch, but the thing about why it's so hard is because you only have about 20 seconds in a round. If you end up missing your pivot, you're gonna have a pretty bad board, which is why it's such a skillful thing in higher diamond, because it allows you to dodge people that are contesting you. You guys will see that today. You guys will see that in this game. So I end up getting a Bomber and Dark Goblin 2, and we end up winning this next round because I just have such strong backline units. And here, as I'm rolling down in round 3, I actually end up getting all of my throwers to 2-star. So, you know, if you're a normal diamond player and you look around the boards and you see someone with, you know, all the throwers 2-starred plus the 2-star giant skelly, right? You're just thinking, oh, I'm not gonna go throwers, right? I'm not gonna go throwers at all. You know, so I think I'm good here, right? So I go up against this Rangers build and I end up losing, you know, by maybe like half a second. But I'm not worried because, you know, I have a really good start to this throwers build. And as I finish rolling down here, you know, and I sell my board here so that I get benefits from the Clear Mind. And I know my board is strong, so I end up winning this. And here's where things get pretty interesting. As I roll down and get 4 undead on the board here, I look over at my opponent's board and I see a throwers build. Yeah, I switch back and forth a lot. You know how I said that no one was gonna go throwers? Someone was dumb enough to. And basically this round, I'm just seeing, oh, okay, so well, let's see whose throwers build is stronger. And I end up losing here. But I just tell myself that it was a bad backline battle and that I could fix positioning later, or we'll just see if the RNG plays out different next time. So basically, I just don't do anything about this. I just say, okay, I could beat him next time. We'll see if I could beat this guy now. And with this 3-star ghost, I was pretty confident that I could beat the next guy. So after I beat this guy, I'm gonna have to face the guy who's contesting me again. And again, the plan is just to test the waters with this guy and basically see if his build is stronger than your build. He does have a Goblin Machine 3, which I am a little worried about. But I do have a Ghost 3, so I was just wondering how our boards would clash. Oh, see what I did there? But you will notice right here, I actually end up getting a Bandit 2 and a Valkyrie 2, as well as a 1-star Archer Queen. This right here, what I'm doing is I'm preparing that if this guy's board beats me, I'm going to switch to Clan Ranger. And I'm doing it around in advance. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see that I'm going to lose this fight just by a little sliver of HP. But still. In this next round, I'm going to completely mute and just let you guys watch. Yeah, so I pivoted to the Clan Avenger build with a 3-star Bandit and a 3-star Queen. All within basically 20 seconds. And as you can see here, I'm going to crush this guy. What helped me a lot here was pivoting in advance, as you guys saw me holding those units on my bench the round before, right? And I made sure to focus on the Queen and the Bandit when I was rolling down. There are some units, if you're shifting, it depends on whatever build you're shifting to, but there will always be the cards that you need to have 3-star in order to win with that build. What you want to do when you're rolling down during your pivot is to focus those units. Another thing I will say is that you shouldn't really worry about getting your units onto the board until about 5 to 3 seconds before the round starts. Once you hear that countdown, that's when you should focus on getting the right units on the board. All of your energy during a pivot should really be focused on just rolling as precisely as possible. And I ended up doing that here. In the last round, I faced my arch nemesis who decided to go throwers here. And I actually ended up just stomping him completely. To be honest, this was definitely one of my best games. And it was also my game to get me to 4.2k. So I'm pretty proud of it. So those are all the games I have for you guys today. I'm sorry for being gone so long. I did make a Discord that you guys can join just for my community. Basically, we'll alert you guys when I post a video, when I'm live on YouTube, when I made a short, stuff like that. You could also talk to me in there. So join that. And yeah, regular uploads from now on. I'm officially back. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.